Mensen, we zitten momenteel in een geestelijke strijd. Overal ter wereld worden onze christelijke broeders en zusters aangevallen omdat ze standvastig zijn in hun geloof in Jezus Christus. Gods woord roept ons op om hen te gedenken. We moeten deze geloof
You know, Patriot Mobile stands for faith, family, and freedom. But did you know they have cutting-edge technology as well? Switching is easy. No store visits, no hassle. Keep your number, keep your phone, or upgrade. They're 100% US based.
Filipino's, krokante koekjes, 100% echte chocolade.
Filipinos, dare to share.
Hi.
Hi, I'm just here to get my sister who's here. Is there a crosswalk like down that way where I can go across to get her?
In all honesty, I don't know.
Okay, that's fair. Neither do I.
There's an officer, you can see his truck there,
Yeah.
some sort of officer. He may be able to help. There's motor cops over here.
Yeah.
I have seen people being escorted across.
Yeah, it's just also across there.
You just have to get their attention.
Yeah. Okay.
So, good luck.
Yeah.
Zeg je date mij af, want wat ik je aankomende donderdag om 7 uur laat zien, verandert je leven voorgoed. Donderdagavond om 7 uur laat ik je voor de laatste keer live zien hoe mensen zonder
team about how some of the comfort that I find knowing that Charlie as a friend really did have a faith in Jesus Christ. And he was not a performative Christian.
No, he
I don't have a
really
doubt in my
believed it.
mind.
He really believed it.
I do not have a doubt in my mind. And you and I both know people. We all know people who might say one thing and live a different way. Charlie's life bore fruit. Charlie was real in his faith. And I saw a tweet of his from earlier this week where he just wrote, "Jesus defeated death so you can live."
I saw it.
And-
I saw it when he posted it.
Yeah. And as heartbreaking as his physical death here on earth is, Charlie is now alive in Jesus Christ. And for all of us here at Daily Wire, for the people watching at home right now, there is comfort in knowing that Charlie is reaping his eternal reward right now because of that fact. And I know that's a comfort to me. I'm just processing all this right now. I know that's a comfort to me. I know it is to you as well. And I hope it is to our audience as well, that there is peace that we can have knowing that in Jesus.
Well, thank you, Cabot. Please let us know, as more information comes out. Appreciate you being here. Appreciate your perspective and your close knowledge of Charlie. And I know everyone else appreciates that too. We're turning now to another friend of Charlie's and a friend of ours, Daily Wire's very own Isabel Brown. Isabel, for the audience that doesn't know, Isabel's spent a lot of time around TPUSA. That's where we all first were introduced to Isabel. Your thoughts?
Yeah, Michael, truthfully, and I hope I can get through this with you all, but I hope you share my heartbreak actively as we continue to process this information as it comes out in real time. In truth, Michael, I was so incredibly privileged over the past 8 years or so, not just to know Charlie as the influential figure that he was and the voice that he was for the conservative movement, the change maker that he was for our country, but to have an incredibly intimate behind the scenes relationship with Charlie and to see the impact that he made on people's individual lives in such powerful ways. I met Charlie for the first time in 2017 at the Young Women's Leadership Summit with Turning Point USA. My first introduction to the conservative movement, to this fight that he was so passionate about and dedicated his entire life to, every fiber of his being to, every day, day in and day out. And was very closely mentored by Charlie over the years that followed. One of his first major speaking events was while I was a student activist at Colorado State University, in which he visited our campus, and we got right in there with the riffraff and ruckus of the protests, with the rise of Antifa, the backlash that he often got from the left, but he had a smile on his face through every single second, even in the midst of what can only be described as insane, mind-altering controversy from the heart of America's college campuses. And over the years have been so unbelievably privileged to learn from Charlie as a content creator. He gave me really my first start as a creator and helped foster me in that regard. In traditional media, I had the privilege of co-hosting his radio show with him for a few months there, and doing some live stream coverage of the 2020 election for weeks on end up till 3, 4 in the morning. And even just as recently as last Tuesday, getting to share the stage with Charlie, who undoubtedly is the most rooted in moral clarity voice I can imagine for this young generation, where we addressed some of the pro-life supporters of that movement in California, Central California, urging for a return to morality as our society and the basis of our common shared humanity. But what people don't see about Charlie when they see his radio show or they see him on TV or they see his speeches to the masses on college campuses is the Charlie that you and I have been so privileged to know over the past few years, the guy I spent an hour and a half with last week debating the ins and outs of theological conversations and talking about Mary. We had such a powerful conversation just about a week ago together, and to share the stage and to be encouraging this next generation to embrace our cross, to pick it up and carry it, and to know that there are eternal rewards for this fight that we're fighting. Charlie really believed with every fiber of his being that this wasn't a political race. This wasn't about installing the next president of the United States that shared your personal policy prescriptions for how to save America. This was a spiritual battle. This was our obligation to pick up our cross for our society and for our generation, to reinstate what is good and true and beautiful. Consequences be damned. And I will forever be inspired by him. I truly owe my life to Charlie. I met my husband at a Turning Point USA conference because we were both working at TPUSA. My daughter exists because of that chance encounter with my now husband. And truly, my entire worldview has been shaped more by Charlie Kirk than any other voice in the world. We are hurting desperately for the loss of our great friend. And I ask that everyone watching this today pray for his beautiful family, his wife and his children. Pray for the loss that we will experience as a movement because of this, but also pray in thanksgiving, because I truly do believe, especially based on the very theological conversation we just had the other day, that Charlie is indeed more alive than you and I are today. And I thank God for that. I thank God for the fact that he is rejoicing in heaven in unity with our God and our Savior, and to know that he will continue inspiring so many more people and the direction of this great country for generations to come.
You know, I love that you mentioned that you were going back and forth on theology with Charlie, because over the years, I mean, this is going back many, many years at this point, we would talk about all sorts of things privately and in public, politics or whatever, the conservative movement. But mostly what he wanted to talk about was religion and politics. And, often we would really kind of give it to each other on camera. We kind of, razz each other a little bit. And some people, I think, get this impression that the way he was thinking about religion or would talk about religion was, I don't know, too full of slogans or something. He'd just be, because he would have fun with his friends about this. But to those people I say, and I know you can attest to this, if you thought he was good talking about religion on camera, you should have heard him off camera. You should have heard how he would talk about religion off camera. It was even more impressive. It was even well, yes, it does inspire confidence for people, many, many, many people who are grieving today. Isabel, thank you so much. We're going to have Ben coming on. And Isabel, I'm sure as more comes out, we'll be seeing you and chatting with you in the coming days. Yeah. Thank you again. We're going to have Ben coming on later on. He'll be coming on shortly. For those who are just tuning in, I know this is a live stream and a lot of information's been flying around all day. Charlie Kirk is dead. The generational political talent, the most important young voice in American politics, was shot at a campus event, one of the many campus events that he does, where he was always willing to hear out the other side, graciously debate ideas. We have basically no information about the shooter. The federal government is obviously actively investigating. The President of the United States, for those who missed it, says, "The great and even legendary Charlie Kirk is dead. No one understood or had the heart of the youth of the United States better than Charlie. He was loved and admired by all, especially me, and now he is no longer with us. Melania and my sympathies go out to his beautiful wife, Erica, and his family. Charlie, we love you." Joining us now is the Daily Wire's very own Megan Basham. Meg, your thoughts?
I'm struggling, Michael, between feeling angry and feeling a lot of rage about what's happened today, but also looking at Charlie's model of what he showed us, that what changes hearts and minds is conversation, is debate, is not violence. And that's what Charlie was about. And as I look at the legacy he left, particularly with TPUSA Faith, that's how I really came to know him and came to be involved with the TPUSA organization. I was speaking to him just a couple of days ago. We were talking about the violent outbreak in Charlotte and the violence that we've seen here. And, he just always encouraged more and more conversation. And a friend immediately texted me today as soon as it was confirmed that we had lost him. And she said, she's a pastor's wife, and, her pastor with her both texted me and said, "Charlie died a martyr." And we should be encouraged and inspired by his